earned his professional degree in electronics and communication engineering. He worked in an engineering college in Koramangala, Bengaluru, for 5 years before resigning from the job in order to study the Hindu scriptures in depth. After undergoing intense training at Sandipani Sadhanalaya in Mumbai for 2 years in the residential Vedanta course, Swamiji joined Chinmaya Mission as a full-time brahmachari. In the year 2018, on Mahashivaratri day, Swamiji was given Sannyasa Diksha. Over the years, Puja Swamiji has been Acharya in Chinmaya Mission Centers, Bengaluru, Mysuru, Shivamogga, and Mangalore. Presently, he is Acharya at the Chicago Center. Swamiji has conducted several discourses in different parts of India and in reputed institutions like the Indian Institute of Technology, Mumbai. The depth of his understanding, along with clarity in the subject, is clearly visible in all his discourses. He relates well to youth and adults. He has written several books like Read Daily, Live Fully, Gurudev's Quotes 1 and 2, Indispensable Values, to name a few. He is also a regular contributor to various magazines and articles which are widely appreciated by all. We are very grateful to have you with us, Swamiji.
Hari.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari
Before
Om.
we dive into our marathon of questions, would you like to say something?
No, Ma, we'll start with the questions.
Okay. Okay. I would like to inform all present here that we have got a good response from all of you, and that we have a little over 30 questions. We will try our best to address all of them in this session. In case any question could not be taken up because of lack of time, be assured we will request Swamiji to take it up in another session or connect with him offline to get the answer to all our questions. I will read out the name of the sadhak whose question is being asked. Request the questioner to turn on the video till the question is answered. If any sadhak has any question related to what Swamiji is speaking, please send your question in the chat box or offline. Okay, so going on to the questions. The first question is from Keshava of Dr. Shanti's group. He asks, I am a software professional and earned my living by working in the industry with my technical skills. Right now, I am at crossroads of my life after 35 years in industry and pursue rest of my life to be useful to the society at large. As per Gita teachings, what should be my dharma and associated karma now? Having developed skills as an engineer, shall I continue in that path with social impact or discover a new purpose with utility altogether?
Who is Keshavji? Is he there?
Namaste Guruji. Namaste Guruji. I'm on the road, unfortunately. I turned on my video.
You are still on the crossroads only.
Sorry about that. Namaste Guruji.
See, this question as to what my dharma is, only one person can answer this question, what my Swadharma is, and that is Bhagavan. Nobody can answer this question. In fact, our Swadharma changes time to time also. As we evolve in spirituality, Swadharma keeps on changing. It is not that Swadharma is throughout life, it is the same. No. As we evolve, our Swadharma keeps changing. So at a particular point of time, what my Swadharma is, only Bhagavan can answer. In fact, every moment he is talking to us, he is guiding us. Intuitively, he is inspiring us. And how do I know what my Swadharma is? Whatever I do, when there is a sense of fulfillment, understand that is your Swadharma. When you're doing it, there is a sense of satisfaction. When you're doing other things, you may be successful materially, wealth-wise. People may also appreciate. But if you're not doing your Swadharma, then there is no sense of satisfaction. So therefore, to know what my Swadharma is, early morning, after a bath, sit for meditation. In all humility, pray to the Lord. And this is what Arjuna also did. In the second chapter, there is a verse. Karpanya doshopa hatasvabhavaha prachami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha. Yet Shreyasya Nishchitam Bruhi Tanme Shishyasteham Shadhimam Tvam Prapanna. So Arjuna was also confused. Bhagwan, I don't know whether to fight or not to fight. I'm utterly confused. Please guide me. So they say that you chant this verse in all humility, saying, Bhagwan, what do you want me to do? Should I go this way or should I go that way? Daily you keep praying, and slowly, slowly you will find that intuitively you will be asked to follow a particular path. Remember, never take decision when the mind is disturbed. When the mind is agitated or when the mind is dull, never take a decision. When the mind is fresh, pure, peaceful, calm, serene, full of devotion, at that time ask this question, and then the Lord Himself will guide you.
Dhanyavad, Dhanyavad Guru, Dhanyavad Gurudev.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Thanks, Swami. Moving on to the second question. The second question is from Deepa Varna. I think she's referring to the Gita and asking, you say I should see myself in all beings. But again, you say we should not teach spirituality to those who aren't ready to receive. If I am in the other person also, why shouldn't I try to elevate him or her also to a higher spiritual plane, as he is no different from me?
Who is Deepa?
Namaste, Guruji.
Switch on your video.
Yeah.
See, always our intention must be to elevate others. Always. But many times what happens is that person is not in a position to understand what we speak because people are at different stages of evolution. For example, if a small child is in front of you, you want to make that child a big scientist. You want to teach the child E equal to mc square, the big Einstein's equation. But the child is in a position only to understand E equal to elephant. A for apple, B for ball, E equal to elephant. And now you are trying to teach E equal to mc square. Is it right? No doubt your intention is very good, but also you must see at what level that person is. Is that person evolved enough to understand the great teachings of Bhagavad Gita? For example, you want to teach Karma Yoga. Now, that person is an extremely selfish person, goal oriented person. He is not able to understand the higher vision of doing things selflessly. To such a person, if you give this Karma Yoga philosophy, never expect the results. What will happen to that person? He will lose all interest in performing action. He will become a lazy person, a tamasic person. So, what has your advice given done? A rajasic person, you have devolved him to a tamasic person. So, this is not the service done to that person. If you can elevate that person from rajas to sattva, you are doing a great job. But if because of your great advice, wisdom of the scriptures, if your wisdom of the scripture is pushing him down, devolving him, bringing it down to tamas, then that is no service at all. So therefore, whenever you are going to give an advice to somebody, understand at what level that person is. And accordingly, you advise in such a way that he is elevated. So many times, great wisdom is never given to immature people. Did I answer,
Understood.
Amma?
Yes, very much clear. Thank you, Gurudev.
Okay. Hari. Next.
Okay. The third question is from Anita Nadir from Shanti's group. The question is, common people who would like to practice spirituality generally approach pujaris in temples for guidance. The guidance they receive is mostly only bhakti yoga. Do this puja, do that puja, that dosha, this dosha, etc. When they are guided by such people, the spiritual journey is limited to haraka, puja, dana, etc. Nothing related to karma yoga titiksha. This is the case of majority members. My mother is a living example. How do they grow in the spiritual ladder in this case? When we suggest something, it is not taken seriously as we are not Guruji. How do we influence such members? Many may not even be literates.
Amma, the answer is the same. You see, the initial stage of bhakti The initial stage of bhakti will be uh, they call it artha bhakti, artharthi bhakti. I don't want God, I want something from God. That is the initial stage. I go to God because I have some problems. I go to God because I want to fulfill certain desires. Name, fame, power, position, wealth, etc. So this is how the initial bhakti is. So nothing wrong in people going to some temple and doing puja and all that. Most, in fact, 99% of the people belong to that category. But slowly, what happens is when I find that my desires are fulfilled, there is somebody who is listening to me, listening to my prayer. When this goes on and on and on, slowly that bhakti matures to become jitnyasu bhakti, where I desire to know God, I want to know who He is. So slowly that bhakti matures. And that is when that person is exposed to all this Bhagavad Gita, etc. So therefore, in the initial stages, people are generally this type of bhaktas. There is nothing wrong. Over a period of time, Bhagavan himself will guide them. They'll be attracted to such classes. Till the mind is matured, they will never be attracted to Bhagavad Gita and all such classes. Hmm. And once the mind becomes mature, Bhagavan himself will expose to them and they will come to this path. So therefore, don't try to change anyone. You can expose them to this knowledge, but don't force them to this knowledge.
Understood.
Ah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
The next question is from Saranya. How to handle how to handle conflicts in professional life when, as per dharma, you know that something is incorrect but have to follow it without any choice. Example, for a particular work, you are asked to say a lie by your senior.
See, Amma, there are so many ways of handling the situation. If you are a true devotee of God with a strong faith in God, then you may leave this job also. Because you know Bhagavan will give you another job. Why do you want to stick to a place where you have to compromise with the higher values of life? It is not necessary. But suppose you say, no, I don't have that much of faith. So in that case, the second option, which is little inferior, it will be to remain there. But one thing I'll tell you, any wealth earned through lies and compromising with values, that wealth is not pure. So therefore, a part of that wealth can be done for charity, given for charity. This is one way of purifying the wealth. Again, this question is not very clear what kind of lie it is. See, there are two types of lies. One is harmless lies, the other is harmful lies. When you are lying in such a way that majority of the people are going to suffer from that lie, then you should never retort to that. But there are harmless lies, not very serious and all that. That is still okay. Again, another option would be politely telling the senior that, see, please excuse me, I will not be able to do this. Politely, not harshly. So there are so many options available depending upon your what you call spiritual maturity. You can easily handle this situation. It should not be any difficulty. If you want to clarify more, you are most welcome.
Following question is also from Saranya. Sometimes you become peaceful
Allah, Amma,
after.
wait a minute. Amma, I want to get an answer from her.
Okay.
You unmute yourself.
Yes, Swamiji, it's clear now. I think it's answered my question also. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Amma, next.
Sorry. The following question is also from her. Sometimes we become peaceful after speaking what comes to our mind harshly with people who have been hurting us badly for a long time and not rectifying themselves despite constantly telling. Is that all right, since at least we are free of inner turmoil later?
Amma, see, there is something called Vak Tapas mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. The Vak Tapas is, see, one more thing. If at all you have any secondary question, instead of chatting, you are most welcome to raise your hand and then ask. Because as I am discussing, I will not be able to read what is written. So if you have any secondary question, you are most welcome to interfere. I mean, after my answer, just raise your hand and then we will take up that, because sometimes your question may be related to this. So it is better to discuss now itself. Okay. See, in Bhagavad Gita, there is something called Vak Tapas, how we must speak. So there, Bhagavan says, Anudvegakaram Vakyam Satyam Priyam Hitam Chayat. So 4 pointers are given as to how we should speak. Number 1, Anudvegakaram, the words which are non-agitating. Number 2, Satyam, truth. Number 3, Priyam, sweetly spoken. And number 4, Hitam, that which is beneficial for all. So this is how we must speak. But in your case, you say that, there is somebody who is troubling you. In spite of so many warnings, that person is again and again doing the same thing. But now the question is, if you're using harsh words, nothing wrong. A show of anger, there is absolutely nothing wrong. But after speaking the harsh words, how peaceful are you? The thing is, are you speaking these harsh words as an act of revenge? See, there is something called joy of revenge. Beware of this. Don't revel in joy of revenge. Tit for tat attitude. It is not good. But to silence that person, a show of anger is not wrong. So there is a difference between becoming angry and showing anger. When you become anger, you become a slave of anger. When you show anger, you are still in control of yourself. Anger is your slave. There are times when you have to show anger. There is nothing wrong in it. So therefore, this is how you have to handle. The mind should be all the time peaceful and never entertain any kind of negative attitude towards anyone. Amma, did I answer, Sharanya Amma?
Yes, sir. Yes, Swamiji.
Okay.
Clear.
Yes,
Complete.
Reshmi ji.
Okay. Moving on to the next question. This question is from
One minute. Reshmi.
Rashmi.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Ah.
Swamiji, at times what happens is to save a relationship, we just sometimes we don't speak up, like we feel hurt and things like that. But just to save relationships, we just keep quiet, or just starts ignoring. Means ignoring accumulates, and sometimes we burst. How to handle those situations? Because neither I want to uh, hurt the relationship, nor I want to show my outburst. So, and some relationships are really important in life. So, how to handle such situations?
See, there are so many aspects to it. You see, somebody is telling something and you are hurt. Now, who is at fault? Why should I be hurt by somebody's words? There is a psychology here. Your hurt feeling will be directly proportional to your ego. It's a fact of life. To the extent we are humble, to that extent the hurt feeling is very less. So if you are a truly spiritual seeker, this intensity of hurt must turn your attention within. Because many times our own ego, we may not be even aware. The world is designed to show us our own defects. So this feeling of hurt is something which you have to meditate upon. You will always find that others' words hurt you greater to the extent that ego is big. So why not make use of that person to help us evolve spiritually? Did I answer?
Ji Swamiji, thank you. Hari Om.
Are you? Yes, Amma, next.
This question is from Yashaswini. If as human beings we are advised to remain free from all attachments, whether to the good or the bad, then there are 3 questions. What should motivate us to do the right thing? How can we remain consistent in doing so? How can we inspire and encourage others to follow the same path?
Amma, see, in spirituality, the main focus is upon attaching oneself to God. Why we should attach to God? Because everything has come from God. Our life has come from God. He is the one who is maintaining us alive. He is the one who is inspiring us from within. He is the one who has given us abilities and talents. He is the one who has given us the resources. He is the one who has given the outer environment. So therefore, the Karma Yoga of Bhagavad Gita says we should perform all our duties as a worship of the Lord. So when you are performing action, your duty is only one: am I pleasing my creator or not? This is the only question you have to ask. But suppose you are attached to things, beings, and situations outside, many times you will compromise with the higher values of life. Any attachment will force you to compromise. Just to please the person whom you like, you will compromise. So therefore, in Karma Yoga, the most important thing is, am I pleasing the Lord who has given me everything? Am I pleasing him through my action? And what pleases God? That which is righteous, that alone pleases God. That which is good for everyone, that alone pleases God. So therefore, when you are living a life pleasing God, automatically you will be detached from everything because you are attached to God. So this is the spirit of Karma Yoga. So how do I know whether I'm pleasing God or not? Look within. Whenever the mind is disturbed, understand God is not happy with you. Whenever the mind is peaceful, understand God is happy with you. This is the way. He is guiding us in this way. Whenever you are doing the wrong thing, there is a guilt feeling. Listen to that guilt feeling and correct yourself. Whenever you are doing the right thing, He gives you with peace. He makes the mind peaceful. So what happens is, as you are walking this path, you become more and more peaceful person. You become more and more cheerful person. You become more and more self-inspired person. Your motivation is not coming from the external results. Your motivation is coming from the internal attunement with God. You become slowly a better and better instrument in the hands of the Lord, and Bhagavan does greater and greater things through you, making you the medium. So what happens is, you become a role model for everyone. You become an inspiration for others because you stand apart. God is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, all knowing, all powerful. So then that light of God is very clearly seen through you. So you stand apart in the crowd. So this is how you motivate yourself, and this is how you motivate others also. Generally, for people who are ignorant of all this, their main motivation comes from the results of the outer world. But for a karma yogi, his motivation comes from the greater peace which he gains by doing the duty given to him by God. Did you understand what I said?
Yes, Swamiji. Thank you.
Okay.
Swamiji, is it okay when I'm doing this higher path, any work?
Where are you?
Okay, I'm Shobha. Can you
Switch
see me,
on the
Swami?
video and speak.
Yeah,
Ah,
I'm
tell me, what
Shobha.
is it, Amma?
Yeah,
Ah,
the thing is, you told जो भगवान हिंदी में बोलूं सर?
हाँ
स्वामी जी?
बोलिए.
हाँ, जब मैं सबके साथ में हूँ, मेरे को मालूम है कि ये गलत काम है, भगवान को अच्छा नहीं लगेगा, so I'm following the भगवान का path. But
हाँ.
other 100% think कि I am wrong. तब
Amma,
कैसे?
your job is not to please others. Your job is to please your creator. Your creator is speaking to you. In a peaceful mind, whatever he says, your job is to do it.
But sir, Swamiji, at that time, 100 are against me. My face become very small and like अंदर से ऐसे लगता है कि I am only doing wrong. Is it okay?
That means you are not very clear whether you are right or wrong. Just because 100 people are telling you feel that you are wrong, that means you are not convinced. If you are convinced that you are right, you must follow that path. Just because 100 people say, if you feel that yes, what they say is right, that means you are not convinced about what is right and what is wrong. So first of all, you become clear what is right and wrong. The first step is not acting upon what is right and wrong. First step is getting convinced what is right and what is wrong. Maybe they are right, who knows? So you have to reflect upon, is it truly right? So when the mind is peaceful, not when the mind is disturbed. Generally early in the morning after prayer, think about this issue. When the mind is settled, when the mind is peaceful, in that prayerful mood, take a decision. And whatever the decision that peaceful mind has taken, stick to it, even when others are opposing you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Maharajji. I got my answer.
Yes. Yes, Amma. Next.
The next question is from Malati. She's asking, if Brahman is all-pervading, why do the scriptures ask the seeker to look within?
Where are you, Amma? Malati Amma. Is she there?
She's on the call. Malti, unmute, turn on your camera, please. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see
I'm
you.
unable to turn on the camera, but I just unmuted.
Okay. If Brahman is all pervading, why the scriptures ask the seekers to look within? Because that is the only place where you can experience the truth that Brahman is all pervading. Within is the place where you experience his presence.
Okay,
When
and
you
the second stage is when we, okay, go on, please.
When you experience him within, you see him everywhere. That is how the thing is. First experience him within, then you start seeing everywhere.
Okay.
Just like in the dream. Actually, you are there everywhere in the dream, because you alone are there in the dream. There is nobody other than you in the dream. But when do you know that? Only when you wake up. What is waking up? Knowing myself as I am. That is called waking up. So when you wake up, you come to know, oh, the whole dream was me alone. Got it?
Yeah. Yes, Swamiji.
Yeah. Next one, Amma.
The next question is also from Malati. She asks, the nature of Brahman is Sat Chit Ananda, and Brahman is all-pervading. Though the non-living things like mountains, stones, tables, chairs express the quality of Sat, existence, how do they express the qualities of Chit and Ananda?
Here also the answer is similar. The whole world is experienced in the mind. Mind is nothing but thoughts. Thoughts exist in consciousness. Therefore, the essence of the world is nothing but consciousness. And what is the nature of consciousness? It is Satchidanand. This is how we come to know that the whole world is Satchidanand. Did you understand?
So we can't, my question was the aspect of existence, that is Sat is present everywhere, right? My mind is able to experience the existence of everything all over. But
remember one thing, you are not experiencing absolute existence. You are experiencing only conditional existence.
Yeah.
A wood is seen as only as wood, not as iron. So this is called as conditional existence, not absolute existence. So existence is experienced in a limited way. Chit is a limited experience in a limited way. Anand. So they say that everything is giving joy to somebody or the other.
Okay.
Everything in this world gives joy to somebody or the other. So some kind of ananda is there in it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Yes. Next.
This question is from Aparna. Swami, in the journey of life, we sometimes make mistakes. Our spiritual efforts help us forgive and forget mistakes or what we perceive as mistakes committed by others. But it seems harder to forgive ourselves. How can we forgive ourselves?
Aparnama, remove your avarana.
Or we move on to the next question.
No,
Otherwise,
Amma is there. Amma is there.
Okay.
Amma, unmute yourself.
Hari Om Swamiji. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram. Amma, you see, this forgiveness is a very strange thing. You see, when you are able to forgive others, you are able to forgive yourself also. And very interesting thing about forgiveness is, to the extent your ego is less, to that extent you can easily forgive yourself. Egoistic people find it very difficult to forgive themselves because somewhere we think that I am perfect, I have no defect in me, and suddenly when I see that defect in me, I become perturbed. Forgiveness has something deeply to do with ego. The more and more we see our defects in ourselves, the more and more we come to know how small we are, how insignificant we are. In fact, all the glories, whatever we have, it's all glories of Bhagavan only. So to the extent we tune to Bhagavan, to that extent his perfection reflects in us. To that extent we are cut off from Bhagavan, there is only imperfection in us. This is a fact of life. There is not even 1% trace of any perfection in us. Whatever little goodness we have is all Bhagavan's only. Because ego is nothing but a shadow. In shadow, there is no essence. There is nothing good in a shadow. So therefore, let us understand one thing, we are nobodies in life. So if at all there are imperfection, it is but natural. But when we tune ourselves to Bhagavan, little bit of his perfection is seen in our life. This is a fact of life. So the more and more you realize this, you are able to forgive yourself more and more. Because you come to know that whatever imperfection is in me, it is all because it is during those moments when I forget Bhagavan that these imperfections bubble up. So therefore you are able to forgive yourself because you accept it that it is a fact. I am basically imperfect. A little bit of perfection comes when I'm in tune with God. And moreover, one more thing you have to keep this in mind. In life, nobody evolves without committing mistakes. Everybody has to commit mistake. That is how the world is designed. A child learns to walk. How does a child learn to walk? No child comes out of the womb straight walking left, right. No. So many times the child has to walk. Even for sitting, the child has to learn. Even to, that flipping, with how much of effort that flipping happens. So each stage the child struggles, and finally the child is able to learn. This is true with everything in life. There is nobody in this world who has never committed mistake, who has been perfect right from birth. There is nobody. So therefore, let us accept this fact. So therefore, whenever we fail, let us accept it cheerfully. And whenever others fail also, let us help, let us have that, what you call, without judging them. Let us allow others to evolve and let us evolve. This should be our attitude.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Swamiji.
Right. Next, Amma.
This question is from myself. I fairly understand the law of karma. The law of karma is constantly in action. In the course of this life, even if something unfortunate happens, I know that I will have to face it, knowing that it is a result of some past action. This law also actively reminds us to be cautious of our present actions. Brutal gang rapes are in news at intervals. For the victim of this heinous crime and the society at large, how is this law of karma to be understood in this situation?
Amma, see, there is a law in this cosmos. That law is, the pain which you give to others, and you are finding joy in somebody's suffering. That sadistic approach. Somebody is suffering and you are finding joy in it. The law of cosmos is, whatever pain you give it to others, that same pain comes back to you. This is called law of karma. So if there is somebody, like for example, the example you have given, brutal gang rapes and all that, these people who are doing this heinous act, a time will come when they will be the receiver of these same acts. They will be in the receiver's end. That is how the cosmic law is. So a time will come, maybe in the next birth, this person is born as a girl, and then he also goes through the same thing which he has done to others. This is how the law functions. At that time, you will see that poor girl, so many people are doing that. Arey Baba, this is the same person who did that. Now, that doesn't mean that we should be very, heartless towards this. No. If you come to help, you help. But understand that the whole world is functioning based on justice. This world is not run by the politicians. This world is not run by the police. This world is run by the Lord. And where is the Lord? He is there in the hearts of everyone. He knows the everyone's action, the entire beginningless past he knows. What action you are doing, what intention you are performing, everything he knows. So he is the karma phaladata. He can never be wrong. So whatever happens in this world is perfect, because a perfect Bhagavan is taking care of this world.
It is sometimes difficult to think that way. I mean, such situations, it's very difficult to think that way.
That is because you are seeing only a portion. You are not seeing the bigger picture. You are seeing only a small event, and then you are passing your judgment. That is why you are getting disturbed. In fact, you are getting disturbed because you don't have faith in the justice of God. The moment you forget God, all these problems will come. Be firmly rooted in this, that Bhagavan is there who is taking care of everything. At that time, you are able to go through this event without getting disturbed. Because you say, Bhagavan, if you have decided this, then definitely it must be right. I may not know why it is right, but it is right because you have willed it. This is how a healthy mind should think.
I think there's a question from Geeta Narayan. Geeta, you can go ahead and ask if it's related.
No, Meera has raised her hand, I think.
Meera. See, the raiser of hand should also appear.
Good. Hari Om Swamiji. You just said that karma phala, like if they say that whatever you do, your kids also carry. Person will suffer in the next janma, that I don't know, but they say if you hear the family person, their children also suffer. How far is that? Is that true, or?
Amma, you see, isn't it injustice? Just because my parents did something wrong, I am suffering. Isn't it injustice? It is absolute injustice. Bhagavan will never do that. Your karma alone comes back to you as karma phala. But then why is it that when parents do something wrong, I suffer? You see, there should be some relationship between my parents and myself. Why is it that I am born to such parents? There is a reason. So therefore, it is my karma that I am born to such parents. And then I have to go through such events. So it is my own karma which is coming back as karma phala to me by getting born to such parents. Never forget this. It is not my parents' karma which is coming to me. It is my own karma only.
And the second question I wanted to ask, and related the same thing, you said that whatever the God decides, whatever his actions or whatever he is, it is his will and it is right, and we have to accept it. So
Yes.
it's a wide question I am asking. Our Hindu Dharma somewhere it is crippling down and with lot of external pressures and this and that. You mean to say God is happy by the actions, what is happening externally towards our dharma?
Amma, whatever Bhagavan is doing is right. If Hindu Dharma is crippling, it is because we are not living according to Hindu Dharma. What is Hindu Dharma? Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And what did we do in the past? The Brahmanas literally exploited all the Shudras. Where did untouchability come from? The poor people who are low caste people, they were not even allowed to enter the temple. You read that story of Ambedkar. Well is there, and these people are not even allowed to drink water from that. You know the way these people treated the low caste people? So Hindu dharma itself was misinterpreted by the high caste Brahmins. They used it to exploit the poor people to become rich. They carried all the gold and they were putting it in the sanctum sanctorum of the temple. I think Somnath temple or something. That Mahmud Ghazni or somebody, he looted 18 times. Where? Right in the sanctum sanctorum. This was the way the Brahmanas were ruling. So whatever Bhagwan has done, so what did Bhagwan do? Bas, foreign rule. Whatever God is doing is perfect. He cannot be. So therefore, whenever such things happen, you should try to find out how God is right. The question should not be whether God is right or not. No. The question should be why God is right. So whatever Bhagwan has done is perfect. There is absolutely nothing wrong. If
What
Hindu
is
Dharma is so great, why did this country become weak? It became so weak so that other countries could. There was a time when Bharat was so strong, materially rich, spiritually rich. People used to come here to learn. Nalanda, Takshashila, such universities were there. A time came when the kings became very selfish. The whole country became weak. And when the country became weak, because internally there was this fight, society was completely shattered. When India became weak, full of superstitions, that is the time when foreign attack started. If we had been sticking to the values, this stage would never have come. So please understand that we have enough number of faults. Just because Hindu Dharma in paper is beautiful, in the scripture is perfect, but are we living it? We are not living it. We say worship, all the cosmic nature, we worship them. Where are you?
No, something happened.
Huh.
Yeah.
You see, if you see this India, all rivers are polluted, Amma. Everywhere plastic and this and that. Is this Hindu Dharma what the Hindu Dharma teaches us? We are supposed to worship Mother Nature, keep it clean, keep it pure. Now look at the condition of country now. It is because the spirituality has not been practiced in letter and spirit. So therefore, whenever such things happen, Bhagwan teaches us lessons. So whatever is happening is perfect. Yes, Rashmi Amma.
Thank you.
Swamiji, we say Vedas are like they are not. They have been like there since ages. They are not written by humans. They are like words of God. Initially, what I read was initially the caste system was fluid. Like it was like whosoever teaches or learns, he will be a Brahmin. It was not fixed ki Brahmin's child should be Brahmin. But later on in Rig Veda, if I'm not wrong, it was written that the Brahmins come from the mind and the then Shudras from the legs or the feet of the god. So why from that Vedas it actually came and then it was misinterpreted. And it was the people Shudras were they were badly treated and things like that happened. But why the first thing in the Veda, why it was, demarcated like that? If everybody is equal and because that fluidity should have continued, then nobody could have, said that this is my position because like Bharata, the King Bharata, his sons were not, eligible to become a king. So he chose a king from the commoners, seeing their ability. But later on, only king's sons were becoming kings. So point is, it should be somehow I felt like that after the coming of that Vedaka concept of Brahmins from the mind, Shudras from the feet, it all gets somewhere mixed up. Why is it so?
Amma, please let us understand. In this cosmos, there is a law. The law is a mango tree will produce only mango. It will not produce apple. Okay. There is a tree. From a jackfruit tree, what will come? Apple will not come. Only jackfruit will come. So therefore, sticking to this, Vedas have this, that if we strictly follow Varnasrama Dharma, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, if we strictly follow, means Brahmana marrying only Brahmans, Kshatriya marrying only Kshatriyas. If we strictly follow, then if a person has Kshatriya vasanas, he will be born in only in Kshatriya family. Just like the plants, just like, police dogs, 7 generation they test. You understand? When you are taking the puppy for training, police training, you don't just take some stray dog and then breed them. No, you see the breed. Quality breed only is trained, because there are all kinds of dogs. Cuddling dogs are there and police dogs are there. You don't use cuddling dog for police training. There is a jati. Don't say that there is no jati. Definitely there is jati. So once upon a time, this jati vyavastha was strictly followed. Why it was strictly followed? It is for our own benefit. If I am born in a Kshatriya family, I am not confused with regard to my dharma, because I know the very fact that I am born in a Kshatriya family shows that my tendencies are of the nature of Kshatriya. So it becomes very easy for me to choose my profession, because my nature is very clearly known from my family. Remember, if it is strictly followed, no caste admixture, then there will be confusion. So this, what you call this caste system, was a great blessing. And don't say that all people are equal. No, all people are not equal. Just like in a school, child studying in first standard is not equal to child studying in a 10th standard. No. In the same way, in this world, everybody is evolving. There are some people who have been in human birth for hundreds of births. There are others who have just entered into human birth, maybe the last birth. In the previous birth, he was an animal, and now he's the first human birth. You can't expect the same quality there. Brahmanas are very sharp in thinking, very pure minded. Shudras are very, what you call, gross minded. You cannot say that all are equal. No way. So, what I'm trying to say is, in the society, the 4 are there: Brahmanas, who are highly sattvic, and the Shudras, who are highly tamasic. In the society, all the 4 categories are there. In the Vedic times, they used to strictly follow this caste. And therefore, what happened was, it was very easy for us to know our nature, to know our profession, etc. Did you understand?
Yeah, I understood. But since now it's being, mixed, sometimes even in Shudra Jati, maybe there are people who are born with high intellectual thinking
Correct. That
capacity
is
and things
possible today, because caste admixture has already happened. So
happen.
now we cannot have that law which was in the Vedic times, because already everything mixed has happened. So therefore, remember, in today's world, there is lot of freedom given. You can choose your profession according to your nature, because nobody can know whose nature is what. We don't know, because there is so much of mixture that has happened. So therefore, lot of freedom is also given. See, Bhagwan's grace. Earlier, freedom was not given. In the Vedic times, no freedom was given. Today, the freedom is given.
Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Yes, Amma. Shanti Amma.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Where are you?
I'm here. I'm here. Unable to on the video.
You are all digitally illiterate.
Yes, yes, true. Are you unable to on? Okay, I'll just ask Swamiji.
Your audio is also gone. Okay, Pratibha Amma.
Unmute Pratibha ji.
Unmute.
Pratibhaji, we can't hear you. Shanti, I think you joined again.
Hari Om Swamiji. So my question was I mean, we are working towards environment, making people understand not to use plastic, making people understand what is your duty and responsibility towards Panchabhutas, reverence towards Panchabhutas, so that other beings, whether it is cows dying of plastic or other beings choked because of plastic, to reduce that effect on these animals who are suffering because of the human behavior. We are trying to make people understand continuously on a daily basis, give awareness, spread awareness and everything. Now, what if that thought comes, okay, Bhagwan is taking care of everything, everything is happening for a reason. I mean, there's no point in we striving so much or working towards that. He take care that we can do what we are doing and not strive so much to bring about the change in the society, give education, awareness, not to spoil these Panchabhutas. Is that required, not required, that he will take care?
Amma, see, you are in this field now?
Yes.
Amma, who is giving the inspiration for you to work? It is
Self.
Bhagwan.
Yes.
If you remain quiet without doing anything, you will have a guilt feeling.
True.
That guilt feeling is the voice of Bhagwan. He will say, I have sent you for this purpose and you are keeping quiet. He will never give you peace.
Okay.
So just listen to that voice. Don't say that I am doing it. No. That inspiration is coming from the creator of the world. Listen to that voice, bow down to that voice and do whatever you can. Then there is a sense of fulfillment. You may not be able to do much, doesn't matter. But there is a sense of fulfillment that I did what I could do.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yes, Amma, next question. Pratibha Amma is stuck there. Next.
Okay.
I think Pratibha unmute.
1 minute. Pratibha Amma, yes.
Hari Om Maharaj.
Ah.
I had one more question related to the answer you gave. That is, everything is perfect in God's creation, and whatever happens at His wish. So you gave an example of Brahmins and kings who spoiled or who degenerated our Hindu previous in ancient days. So was that not the wish of the God at that moment?
Amma, see, when I do something wrong, don't say that Bhagwan forced me to do that wrong thing. For example, a criminal, he is going to commit a crime. You can't say that Bhagwan willed it, that is why this criminal is doing that crime. No. There is a voice inside the criminal which says that don't do it. There are two voices. One is the voice of the ego, the voice of likes and dislikes, the voice of vasanas. The other is the voice of God which says don't do it. Whenever you are going to do something wrong, you will find that your mind get disturbed. You cannot do a wrong thing with a peaceful mind.
Yes.
Anything. So there is a voice of God which is guiding me. This person doesn't listen to that voice and he does sit by himself. Then whose action is it? It is his action or God's action?
Naturally, it's human's action.
Yes, that is why that person is suffering. The criminal has to suffer because he listened only to his own vicious tendencies. He did not listen to the voice of God.
Okay. I have one more question, Maharaj. That is for enlightened person. How does this world look
Pratibhaji,
like?
can you ask later? Because there are a list of questions. We'll get to your other question later.
Sure.
Okay, thanks. Nirmala has raised her hand, and I think Mohan is asking after that. Mohan, please turn on your camera.
Hello, Swamiji. Okay. Hari Om, Swamiji. So,
Hari Om.
we discuss a lot about detachment. So, detachment with what and whom? Is this detachment includes parents, wife, kids, family, and friends? Or I just wanted to get the clarity on detachment.
There are 3 stages. There is a tamasic stage, rajasic stage, and sattvic stage. What is tamasic stage? It is called as unhealthy detachment. Unhealthy detachment means I don't care attitude. I don't care about my wife, my children, my parents. This is very bad. This is called as unhealthy detachment.
Okay.
That the second stage is called unhealthy attachment. You are so attached to this person that you are not able to even think. The intellect is paralyzed because of the attachment. You are my life. Without you, I can't even think of life. That is called as unhealthy attachment. Now, what is prescribed by scripture is healthy detachment or healthy attachment. What is that? So you are with your family, you are taking care of all of them, you love everyone, but at the same time, at the back of the mind, you are very clear about the truth. The truth is, this relationship is impermanent. A time was there when this relationship started. A time will definitely be there when this relationship will end. My relationship with God alone is permanent. So this understanding is what is called as healthy detachment. This is what we must have.
But when to detach, meaning from everything?
Not when.
From everything.
All the time you must be in a detached state only. You are with people, but still internally there is detachment. You don't have to show detachment.
Okay.
What you have to show is attachment alone.
No,
but deep down there is detachment. It's a healthy detachment.
So physically detachment, leave everyone and go.
That is not necessary.
That is not necessary. Okay.
That is why the example given is of lotus.
Okay.
Lotus remains in water, but still it is untouched by water.
Okay.
In the same way, remain in the world, remain with people. People are not the problem. My unhealthy attachment is the problem.
Okay.
That state of mind is the most important thing, not escaping from the world. Spirituality never asks you to escape from the world. Be in the world, face all the challenges, but with a healthy state of mind. This is what spirituality says.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the clarification.
Right.
Nirmala, please ask.
Hari Om Swamiji. So as you were discussing regarding the caste system, why we are not following that caste system in recent days? Like how we used to follow in those times, as you said, Brahmana should be like
Correct.
Brahmana, Kshatriya. Why it's not been followed in at present time?
See, there is something called Yuga Dharma. From Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara, there is a continuous deterioration. That even the scriptures say it. In Satya Yuga, everything is practiced perfectly. Slowly, the deterioration starts, and Kali Yuga is the worst. So now this nobody can do anything. This is how it is called Yuga Dharma. You can't do anything.
So just accept it and move forward.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
That is why we have saints coming in every generation to reinterpret the scriptures according to the changing modern times.
Okay. Thank you, Swami.
Right.
Sharda has raised her hand. Sharda, please go ahead. Please ask. Looks like we can't go through that list of questions, but that's okay. Sharda, please ask.
Yeah. Hari Om, Swamiji.
Yeah.
So my husband Ramesh, he would like to ask one question regarding Varnas. So just
yes.
Ramesh.
Namaste, Swamiji. I just have this question on this caste system. It is a good explanation you've given. And only thing is, see this one, I look at, let's say, society as a body. Head is important, so is the foot. Similarly, Brahmins are important, Sudras are important. But somehow it has come up in the society saying that some is high, some is low, and people think they are different, but and they feel it is below dignity to, let's say, be Sutra. Somehow that has come in. But is that was there earlier, or is it a right interpretation to say that everyone is important and nothing is low or high? Like I do any work, I don't
correct.
see
it is like
I do
this.
a Mali work, I do a software work. So is that the right approach? Just wanted to.
You see, there are this what you call caste system is based on 3 divisions. Number 1, with respect to birth. When a person is born in a Brahmana family, he is called Brahmana. When a person is born in a Shudra family, he is called a Shudra. Remember, by birth, all are equal. Janmana Jayate Shudra. By birth, all are equal. Next is with respect to profession. A person who is able to think deep, he is Brahmana. A person who has executive abilities, leadership qualities, he is a Kshatriya. A person who is good in money management, he is a Vaishya. A person who is good in physical labor, he is called a Shudra. Again, with respect to profession, all are equal.
Yep.
With profession, all are equal. Now the third is with respect to gunas. A Brahmana is a person who has maximum sattva guna. Means his mind is extremely pure. So that person is called a Guna Brahmana. A Kshatriya person is a person who is very active. He is selflessly active. A Vaishya person is a person who is selfishly active. And a Shudra is a person who is highly tamasic, very dull. Now, if this is the category, who is superior? No doubt about it, a person with a pure mind is superior. Because that person is very near to God. The only qualification to realize God is a pure mind. So a person who has a pure mind, he is worshipful. So in this sense, a Guna Brahmana who has maximum sattvic quality, he is definitely worshipful, he is definitely superior. This is the way it is.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Swamiji. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Geeta? Geeta, please ask fast. Yeah.
Yeah, Anupamaji. Hari Om Swamiji. So my question is that how do we maintain, you spoke about detachment. So my question is more in lines of like when we are, doing our grahastha and our professional life, how do we maintain that balance? Like doing, learning, growing spiritually as well as growing in our, or probably doing our duties well in our professional and grahastha life.
See, Amma, let us be very clear about why we are alive in this world. What is the purpose of life? Many times we are messed up with the purpose itself. We think the purpose of life is to, earn and live and take care of the family and all that. No, you're not here for that at all. Your main purpose here is to reach God, to realize your own self, to get liberated from the cycles of birth and death. And the only way you can do it is by strengthening your relationship with God. So all your family duties must be fulfilled in such a way that you spiritually grow. Your professional duties must be done in such a way that you grow spiritually. Spiritual growth is the main thing. That is the purpose for which you have come here. It is like going to a hospital. Why do you go to a hospital? I am sick. I have some disease. That's why I get admitted in the hospital. Now I forget that. And then I am making friends with all the people who are lying down in the different, rooms and all. The purpose of coming to my hospital is to get rid of the disease. And what is the disease we are all suffering from? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Raga, Dvesha, Ahankara, Mamkara. A lot of impurities are there. We have come to this world to get rid of these impurities. We have not come to this world to settle here. This impermanent world, nobody can permanently settle. Let us be very clear. A time will come and all of us will have to go. So this clarity has to be there. Why did I come to this world? What is the purpose of life? Many times we completely forget the spiritual goal and we are completely sucked in the material goal. This is when all the confusions come. So Bhagavad Gita says, perform your duties as a worship of the Lord, then mind becomes pure. In that pure mind, this great knowledge comes that I am not the body, I am pure consciousness, that I am immortal, I am imperishable, I am Sachidananda Swarupa. When you come to know this, purpose of life is served, then there is no more coming back to this world. As long as this is not kept in front glowing, this goal is not kept glowing, there will be utter confusion.
Not sure about everyone's raising hands. We will not be able to go through that.
Amma, Geeta Amma, did I answer your question?
Yeah, yes, Swamiji.
Okay.
Quite a few raised hands. Should we take all those, Swamiji? Or
take it, Amma, take it. Anyway, we have plunged.
We have another 16 questions still in this thing. Kavita, please go ahead.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Amma.
Swamiji, Vedanta
Where
says,
are you? Switch on.
Am I visible, Swamiji?
Yes,
Swamiji,
yes, Amma.
Vedanta says, every object has a name and a form. If we remove name and form from the object, then what is left behind is Brahma. Now, my question is there any technique or how the thought process should be to understand that it is Brahma? Now, I have this object. This has a name and a form. Now, when I look at this book, how my thought process should be? Is there any technique to see Brahma in it?
See, Amma, in the dream, suppose in the dream you are seeing this book. So somebody tells you this book is nothing but you. What is the technique? There is only one technique: wake up from the dream. When you wake up from the dream, after waking up, you come to know that everything in the dream, not only the book, everything in the dream was me only. Isn't it? Now, suppose
Yes,
you enter again into the dream. Consciously, you remember what all you have seen in the dream. Now, you are an awakened person just going through the dream experience, which you had seen earlier. Now, when you are seeing everything, you know that there is no thing there. It is only me. It is only projection of my mind. Actually, what exists is me only. Isn't it?
Yes, Swamiji.
You are able to understand. Sometimes this happens. We go through a very, very intense dream, then we wake up, very disturbing dream, and then again we recollect those moments in the dream. After that, we are not scared. For example, there was a lion chasing me, and I woke up, panting, sweating. But then again, I close my eyes and just recollect those moments. Now, when I see the lion, I'm not scared. Because I know there is no lion. It is only projection of my mind, isn't it? This is what should happen. So the first step is not trying to understand book is Brahman. The first step is trying to know I am Brahman. Once you know I am Brahman, then everything is just a projection of Brahman. Then there is no problem.
So everything in the world is just the projection of the mind.
Exactly.
Okay, Swamiji. Got it.
So first step is to know myself as I am. First step is not to know that world is Brahman. First step is Aham Brahmasmi.
Okay, Swamiji. Thank you so much, Swamiji.
Sorry, dear, everyone, please, if the question is related to the topic, please ask. Otherwise, we have a list of questions. Put the questions in the chat box. We will add them to the end of the list. Pratibha, Mukund, I don't know. Pratibha ji, is your question related?
Can I ask?
If it's related, please. Sorry, I know I told you that earlier, but Kavita's question was not related, I guess.
Yeah. How does for an enlightened person, how does the world...
Can you wait for that if you don't mind? I'm sorry, I apologize. Kavita's question also was not related. I apologize for that, if you don't mind.
Thank you, thank you.
Nandini, please go on with the next question, because there's so many people who wanted to ask questions.
This next question is from Seema. She asks, on one hand, Vedanta encourages us to give up our ego. On the other hand, self-esteem is so critical to thrive confidently in this world. Self-esteem cannot exist without ego. How do we resolve this dilemma?
Where is Seema? Yes. Amma, you see, we should be very clear about certain values. They appear to be very similar. For example, humility and inferiority complex, they appear very similar. You can unmute yourself so that you can ask in between.
Thank you so much.
Humility is a virtue, whereas inferiority complex is a vice. Body language appears to be very same. Humility, that person says, I'm nothing. I'm a nobody. Inferior person also feels I'm a nobody. Then what is the difference? The difference is this. Humility comes out of right understanding about life. Inferiority comes because of the wrong understanding. A person who is humble says, I am a nobody, but I know that everybody is a nobody. Whatever abilities we have, everything belongs to God. So everybody is a nobody. Now, this is right understanding. So therefore, that is called as humility. Whereas an inferior person, he feels, I am a nobody, but this person is a somebody. That person is a somebody. Today I am a nobody, tomorrow I should become a somebody. Inferiority complex is also an expression of ego. Superiority complex also is an expression of ego. They are two sides of the same coin, the ego. Humility is a virtue. In the same way, self-respect and superiority complex, they appear to be similar. Self-respect is a virtue. Superiority complex is a vice. Superiority complex is nothing but an expression of ego. Self-respect is not an expression of ego. A person with self-respect means what? Respecting oneself. Why should I respect oneself? I should respect myself because Bhagavan himself is residing in this heart. So a person with self-respect has respect for himself. He has respect for everyone because that very same God is residing in everyone. So he respects himself, he respects everybody. So self-respect or self-esteem is very good. But superiority complex is not good. What does a superiority complex person say? I am great, but all others are useless. That is bad. So therefore, we must have humility, we must have self-respect, but then the superiority complex is always bad. Did I answer?
Absolutely. So the way to cultivate self-respect rather than superiority and humility rather than inferiority is to see Brahman in everybody, right? So that way.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Can I ask the next question?
Yes.
This question is again from Seema, and I think it's somewhat related to the question that Geeta asked some few minutes back. The more we develop Vairagya, the more we feel disinterested in the outside world. Minimizing contact thus with the outside world could be detrimental for a Grihastha's success in the material world beyond discharging family responsibilities dutifully. How do we strike the right balance between engagement with and withdrawal from societal entanglements that seem so inevitable in the material world?
So this question just now I answered, Amma. Did you get the answer? The point is, spirituality doesn't ask you to cut off from the world. Spirituality asks you to have a healthy relationship with the world. And what is a healthy relationship? Healthy detachment or healthy attachment. That is the way. Not escaping from the world. Remain in the world, but have a healthy attachment or healthy detachment. This is what is necessary. Unhealthy detachment is wrong. Unhealthy attachment is also wrong. You have anything, Amma?
So healthy attachment is when we do our karma with a sense of passion, but we are detached from what we expect out of that karma, right? So the detachment applies to the fruit of the action.
Yes. So whenever there is unhealthy attachment or detachment, there is tension, worry, stress, anxiety, boredom, loneliness, all these negativities come when our relationship with the world is not proper.
Thank you so much.
The next question is from Bindu. She asks, in the waking state, we are overpowered by the inputs from the senses. In this state...
Amma, there is one more question. What is the difference between Jagat and Samsara? No? Question number 16.
Vishwajit has not joined, so we just put it down. Vishwajit has not joined.
Okay, Amma. Next one.
Okay, this is the latest edition of a question from Bindu. As she asked, in the waking state, we are overpowered by the inputs from the senses. In this state, to be aware of the consciousness that illumines the objects, including our body, mind, and intellect, we experience seems impossible. is like asking someone to be in two different states simultaneously, like being a dreamer and sleeper at the same time. Practices like meditation help purify the mind, but during those practices, we are not transacting with the world. To fix one's focus on the ultimate consciousness when transacting in the world seems very difficult. Are there any ways to do this?
Amma, the example which you have used, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, Swami.
This example is wrong. You are saying like waking and dream. It is not like that. You see, simultaneously it can be done, and there are very many things which we do simultaneously. Like, for example, a mother of a newborn baby. She is cooking in the kitchen. But where is her mind? Her mind is in the baby. That baby may be in the cradle, in the bedroom. Though mother is in the kitchen cooking, one part of her mind is always in the baby. Yes or no?
Correct.
How is she able to do simultaneously? Logically, it appears impossible. But it is possible. Wherever your intense love is, one part of the mind will always be thinking about that. Especially when people fall in love with each other. Day and night, they'll be thinking of each other only. How is it possible? This is how the same thing we have to practice here. That reality, your mind, your intellect, everything, because there is something which is supporting me, other than me, infinite in me, imperishable in me, always taking care of me, guiding me from within. When there is such an intense relationship, even when you are doing all these worldly duties, responsibilities, one part of the mind is always connected to him.
Wonderful, Swami.
Ah,
Thank you. Thank you.
yes. Next.
The next question is from Deepa. Scriptures say our past karma shapes our present experiences. But then, how did we first get trapped into this cycle of birth and death without having any karma depth in the very first birth? How was our birth and fate thereafter decided at that point?
Where are you?
Hari Om, sir.
Where are you? See, Amma, whenever the question comes, you just switch on your video.
Yeah.
See, there is nothing called first birth. According to Vedanta, this is a beginningless journey. Because the moment you say first birth, lot of questions will come. So, when you say first birth, you mean to say you were Paramatma and then you became a Jivatma? Why should Paramatma become Jivatma? Paramatma is in Ananda Swarupa. Why should he become Dukkha Swarupa Jivatma? It is illogical. From knowledge, ignorance cannot come. Jivatma means ignorance. Paramatma means knowledge. From knowledge, how can ignorance come? Now you know English. If I ask you, come on, Amma, in the next moment you should be ignorant of English. Can you become that? So therefore, this first birth concept is wrong. It is beginningless journey. From infinite past, we have been ignorant only. And then slowly, slowly we are evolving from the stone, from plants, what you call insects, birds, animals. This is a continuous process of evolution.
There's no first, but there's a last, is it? It's
There
like
is a
that.
last. If you gain the knowledge, that will be the last. So though it is anadi, it need not be ananta.
Okay,
You can put an end to it.
got it. Thank you, Swamiji.
Right.
Move ahead.
Yes, Amma.
The next question is also from Deepa. Human population has been increasing exponentially over millions of years after starting off with Adam and Eve or its Sanatana equivalent. While we say that human birth is the highest of all forms as compared to animals, reptiles, etc., and at the same time we see a significant deterioration in good karma over the years from Satyuga to Kali Yuga. How then is the human population growing so fast? Does that mean animals are doing more good karma to be reborn as humans? Does karma apply to animals as well?
Hari Om Swamiji.
So your question is why human beings are increasing?
Yes.
See, don't think that only beings which you are able to see, they only exist. There are so many beings in this universe who are staying in their subtle form also. Physical body is not there, subtle body is there. Also, remember, in plant itself, there can be millions of beings. Every unicellular organism is a being, is a Jivatma. If that is the definition of Jivatma, in this body itself, there are millions of Jivatmas. Understood? So don't go by the number. This many number of plants, this many number of insects, so therefore this many number of Jivatmas. No! In every plant, there are countless Jivatmas. Because every unicellular organism, every organism which has life in it, which has consciousness in it, it is a Jivatma. So how much will you count?
Oh, but what we understand is plants are like forests are degrading, and animals are going extinct, and only humans are growing is what we feel.
It is not true.
Okay.
There are so many beings inside the ocean. What about that? How many beings are there? In one body itself, how many beings? How will you count?
Okay.
Few
Thank you
trees
so
are
much.
gone doesn't mean that number of beings are gone. No, they're all there. Nobody can destroy these beings in their subtle form. Gross body you may destroy, but the subtle body, it is still there.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Next.
This is a question from Saranya. Why are there more enlightened people who are men than women?
Where are you? Unmute yourself.
Yes, Swamiji.
Why? See, how do you know that men are more? Just because you know more men doesn't mean that more men are enlightened. See, many times what happens, women generally they are within the walls of home, taking care of children and all that. So they are generally not exposed in the society. Many times we are not even aware. So number one, there is no statistics which says that men are more enlightened. Now suppose even if let us assume that men are more enlightened, why is that women are less enlightened? It is because, if at all it is true, it is because, you see, emotion is a tremendous amount of energy. And generally, women are attached to their children and the family. So this attachment is downward. If only they can turn their attention, this emotional power towards God, they will go faster than even men. Generally, women are attached to their family, especially children. Once the children are born, their life is entirely upon children only. That is one of the reasons. If you divert your attention towards Bhagavan, your progress will be very fast. But very, very rare few ladies, they do this. It is not that womanly saints are not there. They are there. So many ammas are there. Anandamayi Ma, Amritanandamayi and all that. What is the only difference? The only difference is that emotional power they have diverted towards Bhagavan. Shakti is there, but that Shakti is diverted towards Bhagavan. Bas, that's all. Did I answer?
Yes, Swamiji.
Yes, Amma, next.
The next question is from Malati. We have heard that whatever material wealth, education, etc., we achieve in this birth does not get carried forward onto the next birth. However, there are examples of child prodigies who are highly skilled at a very young age, be it singing, dancing, playing instruments, or chanting of Gita, etc. Was their skill carried forward from previous birth? Can you please explain what gets carried forward to next birth and what doesn't?
Where are you?
Swamiji, I'm here. Yeah.
Your video doesn't work?
Yeah, I'm unable to turn it on.
Amma, see, the thing is, whatever tendencies you gather, whether it is spiritual tendencies or material tendencies, it will come along with you. Because tendencies are nothing but habits. Whether it is what you call anything, you develop interest in physics, chemistry, maths, dance, music, all those things become your vasana, and that vasana is getting carried. So there is no wonder why child prodigies are there. There are child prodigies in every field. It is not that only spiritual tendencies are carried forward. No. Now I can't see
So
your
my
face.
my
What is your
question was,
question?
see, majority of them, like if you take over 90%, don't come with that kind of special abilities, but only
Amma,
few
who
of them
said?
come.
Who said? Everybody comes, 100%. Everybody is born because of their past tendencies only. Some few become child prodigies because in the past they had done something extraordinarily brilliant. Therefore, otherwise everybody comes with their own baggage of vasanas.
Yeah, baggage is there. I meant the special abilities. That is what.
Special abilities like?
Like at a very small age, a child could be, extraordinary in music.
Now tell
Right?
me, in the society, extraordinary people are rare or common?
It's not very common, right?
Isn't it? Very rare. So naturally their birth also will be rare. When extraordinary people are very rare, their birth also will be rare. Say, for example,
Okay,
out
yeah,
of 1,000.
got it.
Amma, next.
Please turn on your video when the question comes from you.
When
It's
the
from
question comes,
Saranya.
please turn on your video. Don't wait for us to prompt.
The question is from Saranya. How do we connect to religious and scriptures in this age, since most of them on the face looks as though focuses more on bad than good, like fight between gods, curse, war, and enmity? When we narrate some of the mythological stories to kids, their questions are, how can gods fight and curse each other? How can rishis get angry and curse?
Amma, there are two ways in which you have to answer the kids. Number one, even gods are not free from all these vices. So how much more careful we should be? Anger, greed, etc. You see? So these defects, it's very, very difficult to get rid of them. So we have to be very, very careful of all of them. This is one lesson. Number two, whoever has done bad, they have paid the price for it. That also you have to prove. Just because a rishi curses somebody doesn't mean that he escapes from the consequences. No. For example, Durvasa got angry against Ambarisha. In the end, what happened? Durvasa had to fall at the feet of Ambarisha. Also, when they curse and all that, all their energy gained through so much of tapas, everything is drained away. So every wrong action has a consequence, has a bad consequence. This is how we have to tell children, how much ever big you may be. If you have done something wrong, you have to pay a price for it. Whoever you may be Maharishi, Brahma Rishi, Deva Rishi, Raja Rishi, or even gods. Nobody can escape. So we all have our limitations, number one. And number two, for all our wrong actions, there is a price to be paid. If these two lessons are given to the kids, that is more than sufficient.
Swamiji, just one thing. Like, for example, Shiva got angry and he cut Ganesha's head, right? So it's like, again, there was no consequence as such. Maybe Rishis, I can understand. Yeah, they had.
Okay, now in this story, see, your explanation should always be something good, something positive, something noble should come out. You see, you know whose mistake it was? What is the symbolic meaning of that story? See, that Ganesha, he was an entity created by the dirt from Parvati, isn't it? Who infused life into that matter? It is nothing but dirt, it has no life. That life principle is Shiva. So it is our own story. Don't think it is some Ganesha story, it is our story. This physical body is made of 5 elements. It is nothing but dirt only, mud only. And in this physical body, which is inert, Bhagavan infuses life. And now what do we say? We say, I don't believe in the existence of God. I am there, but where is God? This is the way we behave. We behave in an egoistic way. That Bhagavan who has infused life in us, we don't even believe in that God. So then Lord Shiva cut his head. So such an arrogant person is what that entity is. He is fighting against God. See this. That very same God who gave life to him, he completely forgets, he becomes completely ungrateful, and then he questions the very existence of God, because of which he is existing. Then what did Bhagavan do? Bhagavan chopped his head off. What is that? It is nothing but punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. This is what we are going through. We completely become ungrateful to God. We become highly arrogant, highly egoistic, and then we live our life. And birth after birth, death after death, we suffer in this world. It is our story. Clear?
Very clear. Thank you, Swamiji.
Next, Amma.
This question is from Deepa. Sanatana Dharma strongly roots for Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Going by the concept of this, if all Hindus begin to marry non-Hindus or non-believers of Hindus, as is happening these days, what happens to Sanatana Dharma, Hinduism? Is it not our duty to protect our Sanatana Dharma? And if we do so, aren't we contradicting the theory of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam?
Amma, what actually, according to you, is Sanatana Dharma? Is it merely putting a bindi, wearing a sari, doing some arati? Is that Sanatana Dharma? Please understand that is not Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana means eternal. Dharma means nature. What is that eternal thing in me, which is my nature? It is a supreme self. It is a pure consciousness. That is the only thing which is Sanatana. Everything in this world is changing only. Everything is perishable. So, as long as the main teaching is held on, Sanatana Dharma is safe. Please understand what times will change and all those customs, rituals, culture, everything will change. Our central core of Sanatana Dharma is you are pure consciousness. Tattvamasi. Aham Brahmasmi. This is the core of Sanatana Dharma. And to experience this, you must follow the values of life. Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Kshantirarjavam, all the values of life. Humility, compassion, straightforwardness, Satya, Dharma, Ahimsa, Brahmacharya. These are all the values of life. As long as the world is, these values will remain. As long as the world is, this truth will remain. So it is Sanatana only. How does it matter whether you are...
But what about Hindutva? Swamiji.
What do you mean by Hindutva?
Whatever our Hindu culture, won't it get
Whatever I
destroyed
spoke
that
is
way?
Hindu culture. The real Hindu culture is not putting bindi and all that. The real Hindu culture is this. Whatever I have spoken. You have come to this world for a purpose. To liberate yourself. To become free from birth, death cycle. To know yourself. To know that you are Brahman. That is the main. What is the essence of Vedas? Mahavakyas. What is Mahavakya? Tattvamasi. That great reality, that God, you are that. This is the essence of the Vedas. So Sanatana Dharma is entire Sanatana Dharma is upon this. All the others are non-essentials. Which dress you wear, whether you are putting a pant or a sari. Don't call it Sanatana, Hindutva and all that. No. Main thing is something different. You understand?
Yes, yes,
Many
Swamiji.
times we are very what you call that, very serious in practicing all the external ritual, but the inner essence is completely forgotten.
Agree.
So as long as the world is, Sanatana Dharma will be. It doesn't matter whether you marry a Hindu or a non-Hindu. How does it matter? In fact, many times I find non-Hindus more serious about Hinduism than Hindus themselves.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Next, Amma.
Yeah, this question is again from Deepa. We talk about Swarga, Naraka after death, and we also talk about reincarnation. So where does Swarga and Naraka fit in this context? Is it just an imaginary concept or an intermediary between two births? If so, when we are already punished in Naraka, what's the need to take birth again?
Amma, see, in Hinduism, Lokaha means lokyate anubhuyate iti lokaha. That which you experience is what is called as loka. It is not the external world. What do you experience? So in the waking world, we find a world that is loka. In the dream also there is a world that is also loka. Actually, they are all projections of the mind. Whether it is Swarga, Naraka, this world, Bhu, Bhuva, Suaha, Maha, Janaha, Tapa, whatever the world is, they are all projections of the mind only. But when you are going through, you feel that you are in a world. So now your question is, if we are suffering in Naraka, why again come back and suffer? You see, the whole philosophy is this. If your mind is a disturbed mind, you will suffer it whether you are in the waking state or in the dream state. Suppose I see a ghost movie. In the night before sleeping, I see a ghost movie. What kind of dreams I will have? I will have only ghost, isn't it? So I am suffering in the dream also. No doubt I will suffer after getting up early. That's a different matter. But in the dream also I will suffer. Dream is nothing but the same mind is continuing. That is dream. If my mind is a disturbed mind, that disturbance will continue in the dream also. Wherever I go, I carry my mind. So that mind will behave according to the way in which it is trained. If the mind is trained in a sinful way, it will behave sinfully. Everywhere. While living and after death also. Because subtle body is something which comes along with me. So a person who has done crime, having criminal tendencies, what kind of dream will he have? Maybe he will have a dream that he is caught by the police, he is jailed, imprisoned. Now he can't wake up and say that, see, in the dream I have already gone through custody. I have already gone through the, what you call, life sentence. Now you cannot catch me. You can't say that. Basically what I'm trying to say is, if your mind is disturbed, every moment you will suffer that mind. If your mind is peaceful, every moment you will enjoy that mind. Karma theory of this world is separate, dream is totally separate. You can't say that I have gone through the dream, so I will not suffer in the waking. You can't say that. And understand this also, world is nothing but the projection of mind, whether this world or any world. I don't know whether I have answered your question.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Guru.
Next, Amma.
Yeah, this question is from Seema. Duryodhana says, Janami dharman cha me na cha me pravritti, janami papan na cha me nivritti. Kenapi devena ridi sthitena yatha niyoktosmi tatha karomi. He knows fully well that he's wrong, but can't control doing it anyway. We all feel like this at times. Though we know something is wrong, our vasanas or gods will make us act in a certain way. What is the way out of this vicious cycle?
Where are you? Amma, next.
Yeah.
This question is from Keshava. He's asking, what is Swarga? Since body is impermanent, what does it mean achieving Swarga? Does the soul attain it? What is the purpose of it then? Does it mean that there is no rebirth when you attain Swarga?
Is he there?
Swamiji, I think Keshav is traveling. The first question he had asked, I think that time he was on the road. I think still he's on the road.
Okay, next.
Okay. These questions are questions that have come up in the chat. This question is from Pratibha. For an enlightened person, how does world look? Will he see world as we see, or is it vanished?
Is that question there in this list?
No, it has come from the chat.
What is that question, Amma? Pratibha, ask.
Guruji, I was asking, like, for an enlightened person, how does the world look? Will he be able to see the world as we see, or will it looks vanished to him?
No, see, for enlightened person, he knows the truth, that the whole world is an illusion, it is just a projection of the mind. So though he sees the world as we are seeing it, but he will not give any reality to it. Just like mirage water. Mirage water also you see, everybody sees as water only. But the person who knows, he knows that there is no water there, it is only an appearance. So he's not attracted by that water. He will not go there to quench his thirst.
But he
So in the
reacts.
same way.
But he reacts as we react only to the situations.
No. Our reaction is based on likes and dislikes. We get attached to certain things. We hate something. Full raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, etc. is there. As far as for him, there is no such thing. His attention is always upon the self, upon the reality. What happens, suppose you, again the dream example. You wake up from the dream and then again you imagine, you enter into the dream imagining all those things. What happens to you? You see the world, but you know that there is no world, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly like that.
Okay, Maharaj. Thank you.
Right. Yes, Amma. Shobha.
Namaste, sir. My questions are there. Can I ask two questions? There are two questions told. One
ask,
thing
Amma.
is, sir, in spiritual life, you always bolte hain ki subah jaldi utho early morning. But now this generation all believes in getting up late, sleeping up late. That is one question. And one more question is,
No, what is that question there?
like how to explain them ki waking up early is good or waking up, because their lifestyle is like that. They wake up 9 o'clock and they go to sleep around 12 o'clock. So ye acha, is this good or not?
It is always bad only.
Yeah.
To the extent you deviate from the Vedic culture, it will be bad. Early morning is always good. Your brain, your body is designed to function good in the morning times. So if
But
you are missing your
lifestyle,
morning times, Amma, see, the thing is, your body is designed away. When does the sun
okay,
set? You can't say that Kali Yuga sun is setting at 1 o'clock in the night. Is it so?
no,
Sun is setting for a purpose. Why sun is setting? Sun is setting, giving an indication that, see, enough of work, now lie down. So deliberately, Prakriti creates darkness so that you can't do anything. Now, what have we done? We have created artificial lights and we are still busy.
okay. My one more question is, now there is a lot of controversy, periods ka, menstrual cycle,
Ah,
which
ah,
comes. So do we
mm,
follow spiritual things? A lot of time we share the same plate and we share, eat together. Old
mm,
people, like my older generation doesn't believe that, but younger generation see कि we are stupid, ki saying कि ये सब गलत हो रहा है.
mm.
So what
See,
to
Amma,
answer? How to take it?
let us be very clear about these fundamentals. Body is always dirty, whether you have periods or you have no periods. What is the nature of the body? It is always dirty. So as much as possible, keep it clean within the limits. You know how much we can clean. Take a bath, etc. That's all we can do with the body. Most important thing is keeping the mind pure, having good thoughts, having noble thoughts, having divine thoughts. That is more important. Physical thing we have no control. When the periods come, when the period, we have no control over it. But with
Okay,
respect to mind, we have control. What thoughts to entertain, what thoughts not to entertain. So therefore, in Chinmaya Mission, we don't pay any attention to all these things. Anytime
so
any woman is free to come to temple. In Chinmaya Mission temple, we don't have any problem.
okay, you answered my question. Thank you.
Ah, okay. Yes, Aparnama.
Hariom Swamiji, Hariom Swamiji, this is just a continuation to what Shobhaji was asking earlier, and it's a more like a forward-thinking question. As a parent, Swamiji, so many of the things that we have learned in our life we have learned from seeing how our parents are behaving and what they have taught us as values and culture, and that's what we are trying to imbibe. But even we know that we did not 100% follow everything that they said, and we have kind of questioned it or analyzed it, and then found our own paths which we think work the best for us. And I expect that our children will also do the same thing. They will think, they will learn from us, but they will make their own assessments. But just foundationally, Swamiji, as a parent, what would be your advice for us to like pass this on? Because the world was very different even when we were growing up, and that was not too far away. 20 years back, life was very different, and life is very different now. But in terms of the value systems, I hear a lot more questions from the next generation on the why should we do this and what is the logic. And I don't know if we have all the answers to it, because we sometimes followed things without questioning, and today we realize the value of it. Like our parents taught us, you have to get up in the morning, light the diya. We did it. Today, maybe we realize there is a value behind it, but at the time we did it without questioning. To the next generation, what is the best way to pass on this value system? That would be my question to you, Swamiji.
Amma, see, the modern generation is trained in questioning everything. That is how the whole education system is. You have to question everything. And only when you are convinced, you do it. So therefore, that is why Puja Gurudev came, It was a need of the time. So Gurudev gave a very logical, very convincing explanation to everything that we do. I don't know whether you have seen that book. Why do we? There is a book.
Yeah, I have read it, Swami. Yes.
Yes. So that you see the change. Bhagwan also sent such Mahatmas into the world so as to meet the need of the society. So there is a young generation who is growing, asking questions for everything. So then we have to supply the right answer, convincing it. That is our responsibility as parents. When we say that something has to be done, don't say, I never question my parents, therefore you should also not question, you should do. No.
Correct.
Try to find out convincing answer. And there are answers. Don't say that there is no answer. No. For everything there is an answer. Try to find out. And then try to convince the younger generation. And make the child feel that if I don't do this, I am the loser. That's all what we have to do. I want to improve myself physically, emotionally, intellectually. I want to grow. If there is something which will help me grow, why I will not follow it? But it is our responsibility to convince them. Find out the right reason, find out the right people, and then say that, see, if you do this, this are the benefits. If you don't do this way, you will suffer. If this path is made very clear, who will not do it? But that homework we have to do.
Yeah. Yeah, yes, Swamiji, we are doing a lot of homework, and thankfully we have more access to this information than probably we did in the past. But I just wanted to convince myself that it is the right thing to do. Just give them the logic, because I feel that if they know why they are doing it, it will make it more convincing for them to follow something, whether we are there or not in the future.
And one more thing, unless you have walked the path, you can't guide them.
That is true. Yes, yes.
Mere preaching will not do. They should have a living role model in front of their eyes who are reaping the benefits of the righteous living. Then only they will follow you.
Yes, Swamiji. Thank you, Swamiji.
Right. Yes, Amma. Nandini Amma.
Shweta Mata, you can ask your question.
Yeah, thank you. My question is, what happens to a person who leaves the world suddenly, say by an accident or something like that? Why does something like this happen to someone, and how does their Atma handle it?
See, the journey continues. At the most, what has happened? The physical body has died, but his subtle body is there, his causal body is there.
Correct.
So because of some karma that has happened, so the journey continues. Nothing happens.
Anything?
He is born in
Someone told us that it's, I mean, I've heard something saying that somebody passes by accident and there is a lot of, they have to face a lot of things or something. Aisa kuch? No.
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, unless you have committed suicide.
Okay.
In suicide, there is a deliberate attempt to kill myself. Then, yes, प्रेत शरीर में घूमना पड़ता है. Otherwise, there is nothing.
The journey just continues, not a problem. Okay.
Journey just continues.
Thank you.
I think there are a few more questions from Deepa and Sharanya, I believe.
Let them come. Are
Is it
they
okay,
there?
Swamiji? Yeah, or shall we kind of just send it to you later or something? Because
No problem. We'll finish it off.
Okay, fine. Deepa's questions, Nandini.
She's asking, what is
Meera,
love?
where is your video? Tell me, Amma.
Swamiji, this is small confusion. You said that self-respect is important, but then the shloka says that your body is different and that should not affect you when somebody says something to you. So it's that sentence is little contradicting to me.
What is that? I didn't get it. What is that, Amma?
You were telling that self-respect is important. The difference between the self-respect and the superiority complex. You said the self-respect is important, but then when we say self-respect, then if somebody says something to us, it's definitely it's going to you retaliate. So the shloka says that you don't have to retaliate because it is not told to you, it is told to the body. So
which shloka says that?
I forgot
Which
the shloka. I forgot the shloka, Swamiji.
There is no such shloka which says all that. See, retaliation is always wrong because you are reacting to situation. And retaliation is always associated with ego. Your ego is hurt, and as an act of revenge, you retaliate. That is always wrong. It is not born out of self-respect. It is born out of egoistic hurt feeling.
But how then do we have to have the egoistic feeling or not? If somebody insults.
Ego is always your enemy. Always. That hurt feeling shows how much of ego you are carrying. So it is a measure of your ego. If I'm having intense hurt feeling, it simply shows that somewhere I'm carrying a big ego. You see, when there is a pain, somebody touches and there is a pain. What does it mean? There is a pus, there is a wound.
Yeah.
Somebody touched it and there is pain. So don't say that you touched it, therefore there is pain. No, there is already a wound. He has only touched it. In the same way, somebody poked you with some words and then you are burning inside. That burning inside has direct relationship with ego. The more, what you call, bloated I feel about myself, that I'm a big personality, etc., the more I'll be hurt by passing remarks of others. The more I'm humble and simple, these words don't affect me. The Gurudev used to give an example. If you stand up, your shadow will be very long. If you sit down, your shadow will be small. If you lie down, there is no shadow. The shadow is the ego.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Next, Amma.
Yeah, there are a couple of questions from Deepa and Saranya. Should we take it up?
Let them come. Yes, Deepa Amma.
She had
Deepa Amma can.
sent it, so I'll just read it out.
No, let her say. Anyway, she is here, no?
I had sent it in the list previously, so I think I don't have the list now. So better she read
So
it out.
at least you may be remembering your question.
I had sent a lot of questions actually. I don't know which one is being taken up now.
Okay, then go through the list and then come back again. Yes, Saranya Amma.
Yeah, one was related to like how now we have our own parents, right? So for example, the father or mother is an angry person. So automatically, if that particular or similar kind of situation comes up, we also get angry or we try to imitate them. Okay, they were angry for this and we should also be angry. We normally know that that's how we are inclined to. So if we are coming with our own set of vasanas, how is it that anger also comes?
See, your vasana is created by you. Don't say my parents gave me this vasana. It is all created by you. If the father is a drunkard, it's not necessary that the child also should be a drunkard. But yes, the child may look at that and may develop this habit of drinking. That's a different matter. But remember, every likes and dislikes is created by me, by constant repetition of those thoughts, of those emotions, of those habits. So if you go on getting angry for little things, slowly anger will become your nature. Irritability will become your nature. But remember, I have allowed it. Without my allowing that particular trait in my system, I don't develop it. Somebody is getting angry. Why should I imitate that person? Why can't I learn a lesson that, yes, see how miserable this person is when he's angry, so therefore I should not develop this anger. I also don't want to be miserable like him. You can learn this lesson also. Angry person is the best example why we should not get angry. How miserable that person is. His whole day is gone for little things. And all relationship also, everybody runs away from that person. He becomes so lonely. So that should be an example for me why I should not get angry. How can he be a role model for me?
Swamiji, just one more. We always say like there needs to be a guru for all of us in the spiritual journey. So like different people keep coming up and we think that person to be as guru, like we seek God's protection, like show me the guru, and some person comes. So we tend to see them as guru for them. And then there's no alignment between our, we're not able to progress further. So then another person comes up and we again seek that person as guru. So Is it that way, or we'll have to think God only as Guru, that Brahman is our Guru and all these other people are our teachers?
See, Bhagwan alone is a Guru because he is always with us. He knows everything about us. He knows what is needed for us. Bhagwan alone can be Guru. But sometimes we are not able to connect to God because he is unseen. So therefore, he takes the form of somebody in front and guides us. So whatever Guru is needed, he will supply. Don't worry. Whatever we have learned, let us practice it sincerely. And whatever Guru is necessary, time to time, it will appear in front of us. That is, supplying the Guru is his job. We don't have to do that. But following the righteous path, which we have understood, that is our job. That's all we need to do.
So at that particular time, even if the Guru keeps changing, like for example, one person, and then again we shift on to another Guru.
Nothing wrong. Guru shopping is allowed. But a time comes, if needed, time comes when you are stuck with one person because that person makes really sense to you and all your questions are solved there and you start getting inspiration from that person. Then stick to that person. Then after that, don't deviate here and there.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Swamiji, can I ask a question now?
Ask Amma.
Yeah, so my question was, what is the difference between patriotism and terrorism? Because a terrorist thinks what he does is his swadharma, and his intention is to protect his dharma, is what he feels, and he also feels happy about what he is doing. Content after killing so many. Also, he feels he has done something good for his whatever religion or whatever. So just like a soldier, when you compare it, a soldier also thinks it's his dharma to kill people to safeguard his country, his border. So this border is also human made, isn't it? It's not God made. So it's as man made as a religion. So how does one seem right and the other seem wrong?
See, Amma, there is a big difference between patriotism and terrorism. In terrorism, generally the killing is happening out of hatred. This person doesn't belong to my religion. I hate him and then I kill him. In patriotism, when a soldier kills, there is no hatred there. He also knows that the other person is fighting. He has also a family. He is also fighting for his nation. Just like I have my family, my children, I am fighting for his nation. So when there is killing happening, there is no hatred there. Whereas in terrorism, there is clearly hatred. It is motivated by hatred and it is motivated by the reward. That after killing, or even if I die, I go to some heaven. There I have a lot of pleasures. So a lot of wrong notions are there. So the law of this world is whatever actions you do, results will come back to you. Good actions or bad actions. Now, whether it is good action or it is not you who is going to decide. So many other factors will decide. For example, if I am killing somebody out of hatred, it is a papa karma. See, a doctor trying to save the patient might kill the patient while doing the operation. Now, that's a punya karma or papa karma. It is a punya karma because intention was to save the person. So every action is determined whether it is a papa karma or punya karma depending upon the intention behind the action. So if the intention is sinful, then that action is also sinful. If the intention is good, then the action is also good. So in this religious terrorism, what is the intention? It is hatred only. My religion is superior, yours is inferior, so you are a bad person, I must kill you, I hate you. That person cannot love that person. There is no love. The intention itself is bad. So such actions are always papa karma only. Now you may say that, no, I am dying for my religion. Arey Baba, your understanding is wrong. Erroneous understanding is there. So out of erroneous understanding, your actions will be sinful, and for that you will have to pay the price. The cosmos is designed that way, to correct yourself. Till you are able to love everyone, you will go on taking rebirth and go on evolving yourself. They are also in a particular stage of evolution, and through painful ways, through a lot of suffering, etc., they will also evolve. But remember, the condition is this: as long as you have not learned to love everyone, there is no liberation for you.
Thank you. One last question from my side. So regarding the people who are hired by court to hang criminals to death, so do they attract bad karma or is it their swadharma? And no matter how lawfully right their act is, isn't taking someone's life um, sinful?
Okay, now what is the intention behind hanging somebody?
Punish them?
No, he has no right to punish. The person who is hanging, he has no right to punish.
Yeah.
He is just
Following his
following the
duty.
court order. The judge has said, hang him. So I am just doing my duty. I have no likes or dislikes in that. I have no relations with the person. My intention is I am doing my duty. When I am doing my duty, it is always punya karma only. When a soldier is killing somebody, is it punya karma or papa karma? It is punya karma because he is just obeying the duty. Where Arjuna himself had to kill so many people.
What about a butcher then?
Is it his duty?
He does
In
it
today's society,
for a living.
No. See, in today's world, you have a choice to choose your profession. In Mahabharata, such a story comes. A butcher is a dharma vyadha. In those times, you did not have a choice to choose your profession. Whatever your father has been doing, you have to do. And in that Mahabharata itself, the dharma vyadha says, I don't eat meat. I am doing it because this is my family tradition, I do it. He himself never ate meat. So in today's world, you need not be a butcher. There are thousands of other jobs you can do. Why did you choose only butcher job?
Got it, Guruji.
Mm.
Thank you so much.
Right.
I think there are just two more questions. Pratibha has one and Aparna has one. Pratibha, please turn on your camera. Aparna, please turn on your camera.
Can I ask now? Maharaj, in the newborn kid, though brain, mind, and physical body exists, the memory will be nil. So, how does karma work for the newborn? Somewhere from newborn to 1 to 2 years, and what about the mana, buddhi, and chit? How it works over there? Because it does not have any memory and it does not understand the surroundings.
Amma, when the child grows up, everything comes to it. Whatever,
After
wherever.
the child grows. But my question is from the born to 2 to 3 years, when the kid does not know anything about the surroundings. So how does
It is not
karma work
necessary.
over there?
No, it is there in unmanifest form. Everything is there. The body itself is taken to go through karma phala, no? Why do we take the body? To go through karma phala.
So the karma remains manifested over there already.
It will all be like the seed form, it is there.
Okay.
Everything is there in the seed. When the right, what you call, atmosphere comes, environment comes, that seed sprouts and becomes a tree. In the same way, everything is there, latent, unmanifest. When the right time comes, everything manifests itself.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes, Amma.
Aparna, you're there? Yeah. Turn on your camera.
I'm there. So Swamiji, my question is, so for me, I am a very new entrant to this spiritual journey, Swamiji. I've just recently started learning. So how do I know that I'm progressing? Like, what should I keep in mind at all points in time? And also, Swamiji, for inspiration, if you can share a little bit about your own story and what was your experience and how did you know you were progressing until where you are now?
What is the first question, Amma?
How do I know as a new person in the spiritual journey, how do I know I am progressing and what should I keep in mind at all times?
So in the beginning, Amma, more and more of satsang is necessary. So what happens is as you progress, there is more and more of clarity in thinking. So many questions get answered. And what happens is, so there is a test called FIR test. This is a generally we say. FIR test. What is that FIR test? F means frequency. How frequently you get disturbed in a day. I means intensity. How intensely you get disturbed. And R means recovery time. How quickly you recover from that disturbance. So what should happen as you spiritually progress is frequency should come down, intensity should come down, and recovery time should come down. So you are lesser and lesser disturbed. And you, even when you're disturbed, you come back very quickly, very soon. So basically what happens is you carry a more and more peaceful state of mind. Throughout the day, you are more peaceful. You are more cheerful. You are able to handle situations beautifully well. There are very rare moments of confusion, and in those confusion also you come out very easily. So these are all the signs that spiritually you are evolving. You handle all situations beautifully well. You handle all relations beautifully well. In all challenges, problems, etc., you carry a very cheerful disposition. So this is a proof that yes, you are progressing. Did I answer that question?
Yes, Swamiji, it's very clear. But generally speaking, also, Swamiji, at least for me, I have never, like, say, I'm not a difficult person, I feel, and people have also told me that. So, even further, like, in terms of, is there something deeper that we should think about versus just disturbance in state of mind? Is there something I should be deeply considering at all points? That is another question, Swamiji.
See, what happens is, I'm sure you are very much attached to your kids and you are worried about your kids.
No, Swamiji, I'm not worried. I have only one kid, and my goal is to make her as independent as possible as soon as possible.
Okay. Generally, these mothers have this problem. They are a lot worried about the kids. Anyway, the point is this: as you walk the path of spirituality, there is more and more of peace. Remember, peace also has got different intensity levels. There is a 10-unit peace. There is a 100-unit peace. There is a 1,000-unit peace. There is a 10,000, 1 lakh. Peace also has got different intensity. So as you walk this path, there is more and more of peace. And more, in fact, in the language of devotion, you start feeling connected with God. That's a better way of saying it. You feel that, yes, you are not alone. There is somebody with you all the time, guiding you, protecting you. You feel that connect. This is another way to measure the progress. So even when a challenge comes, you don't get disturbed because you know that there is somebody with you who is always guiding you. So intimately you feel a connection with that divine. This also is a measure of spiritual progress.
Yes, I think you answered my question, Swamiji.
Yeah.
Swamiji, I have a question, maybe not as profound or peace or anything like that. It is about different forms of God that we believe in, like Shiva or Krishna or. So how right or wrong is it to, kind of tell, okay, I believe in this God and only this is true. So there are fights that happen over this, that, Shiva is great versus Krishna is great versus Vishnu is great. So just want to understand, how do we kind of deal this situation when there is a conflict that is surrounding us?
Amma, see, please understand there is only one God, and that is your own consciousness, the pure consciousness. The external forms are only alambanam, a support to reach this. For example, in the beginning, it is very difficult to meditate upon consciousness, very difficult. So therefore, just as a support, you use a form outside, just like the flag of the country. A flag is only a representation, a symbol, and then we salute that flag. In the same way, that form helps us to meditate, to concentrate. Mind gets a support to concentrate. So in the beginning, the form is very helpful. But then, in the end, the form becomes an obstacle. Then I feel that, oh, this form alone is God, that form is not God. Then they start fighting with each other. That is why you will always find Ganesha Chaturthi, the last day Visarjana is there. Ganesha Visarjana. You have to throw that form away. Meaning, give up the form and shift your attention to the formless. In Durga Puja also same thing they do. 10th day, it is Visarjan. Give up the form. Don't get stuck in the form. Form is only a pointer. It is pointing to something. You go to the pointed. So if I am showing you the moon, what you should do with the pointer? This is pointer. What you should do? Use the pointer and move
Focus on the
towards
moon.
pointed. Ah, but suppose you are holding on to point. No, 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 no. This is moon. This is moon. Then you are foolish.
Yeah.
That's what people are doing. From Saguna
Perfect.
Sakara, from Saguna Sakara, you have to move to Nirguna Nirakara.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Swamiji, Namaskar, this is Meera here. My question is quite related to the question somebody asked on women and self-realization. So I always find that, I mean, in my case at least, and many women, that we are mothers and we get totally, even if we move 5 steps ahead, we can again come back 2 steps, or we are engrossed in some other activities. Plus, even if you want to, you don't, and the focus goes off from time to time. So how do you tell or guide us some practical steps, if possible, to continue being on this journey without getting distracted with the duties?
Amma, see, this experience of being a mother is a wonderful experience. But the biggest mistake we do is, you see, when the child is growing in the womb, you unmute yourself. I'll be asking a lot of questions to you.
Yes, obviously.
When the child is growing in the womb, who is taking care of the child?
It is definitely the Supreme God, though we eat, though we do the duties, which it is God's.
Correct. You are eating and sleeping, but there is somebody who is taking care of the child inside, isn't it? Even when the child comes out, Bhagavan knows that this child cannot digest any normal food. So therefore, Bhagavan creates a special food for the child. The breast is filled with milk, isn't it? Even the mother doesn't know how it is happening. So inside the womb, Bhagavan is taking care of the child. Outside in the world also, Bhagavan is taking care of the child. In fact, who gives that much of love for your child? Your child, you see, your heart is filled with love for your child. Who fills your heart with that love? Bhagavan himself. Because Bhagavan knows now to take care of the child is a big headache. You have to give up your sleep, you have to give up your food, you have to give up everything. Because it's a big load. And this much of work can be done only when there is love. So therefore, Bhagavan fills your heart with that love, a divine love, unconditional, infinite love for your child. And that is why you are able to fulfill your motherly responsibilities. Otherwise, it's humanly impossible to take care of a child. 24/7, you have to be with that. Now, the biggest mistake we do is the moment this child comes and we look after child, we say, it is my child, I am taking care of my child. I and mine comes. You are finished. Now this child will be the source of all tears for you. Because you have done a big mistake. What is the mistake you have done? That Bhagwan who took care of everything, you conveniently forgot that Bhagwan. You became ungrateful to that Lord. And now what happens is, your child will slowly become ungrateful to you. This is called as karma theory. You become ungrateful to your creator, your creation will become ungrateful to you. But suppose in the karma yoga spirit, if you have taken care of this, say, Bhagwan, it is your child. I have been given these motherly responsibilities and motherly abilities by you. So actually, you are taking care of your child through me. I am only an instrument in your hands. So whenever you have any problem, immediately say, Bhagwan, I don't know how I should take care of the child. What should I do? Intuitively, he will guide you. So this way, what will happen? Your relationship with God also improves. And at the same time, you will find that your relationship with your child also improves. They go together. When you are loving your child, your heart is filled with love for your child. Actually, just like you are loving your child, there is somebody who is loving you because you are also a child of somebody. And then that motherly experience becomes a wonderful opportunity to grow in devotion for God. This is how you must fulfill your responsibility.
You reminded we hear all this, but then again we get caught in this maya, and then again we forget. Thank you so much, Guruji.
Thank you, Swamiji. I think the questions are over. So,
okay.
Anything, Swamiji, for us to tell? You heard us, you answered us. So आप कुछ बोलना चाहते हैं हम साधक आके?
अरे मैं नहीं बोला है, आपने क्या बोला है? आपने तो सिर्फ प्रश्न पूछे हैं.
हाँ हाँ. Last advice, कुछ advice जो inspire करते रहे.
Till now only I was only speaking.
Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you for everything. It was really nice. I think everyone, I can see, are feeling very happy with all the answers they've received. So yes, if there are still any more questions, we will, I think all of them, I believe everything has been answered, but if any other questions do come up, we will try to organize another this thing or pass it on somehow to you. Yeah, Nandini?
Yeah. Om Sarvesham Swasti Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om.